Deepak sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir has come now, Suresh Kumar sir.
Yes, sir.
Suresh
Good
Kumar
afternoon,
sir.
sir.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you, sir?
Fine, sir. Fine, sir. How are you, sir? How
I am
things are
fine,
going
sir.
on? How things are going on there?
Going. Had your lunch, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, we will start now, sir. We have an introductory section, then we'll proceed to your lecture, sir.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Deepak sir, you tell
It's audible
the.
only, no? Is it
Yes, sir.
audible, sir? Voice is audible,
Yeah,
huh?
your voice is audible, sir. Your voice and video is also very clear.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Deepak sir, you can tell the host to start, sir.
Okay, sir. Roncio, you can start.
Good afternoon to every one of you. Today sorry. Good afternoon to every one of you. Today I welcome you all to our one-day guest lecture program on advanced networking concept using CISCO packet treasure. Before we move on to our program, I would like to introduce you our who is an associate professor at Sri Sai Ram Engineering College, all the way from Tamil Nadu. For today's program, I am Ronsio and will be the host. Now, I would like to highlight today's program. Invocation by Chauncey Rani from second year BCA. Prayer song from Sister Susie ML from second year BCA. Welcome address by our brother Nizo Tetso from BCA second year. Special address by Dr. S. Pradeep Kumar Kini, our head of department, HOD. Program commenced by Dr. M. Suresh Kumar. And there will be time for question and answer session. Vote of thanks by Mitsivu Kyo from third year PCA. Now I would like to invite our sister Chauncey Rani of our second year PCA to invoke God's blessing among us. Sister Chauncey Rani, please take your time.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as work for the Lord, not for human masters. Dear God, thank you for all the blessings you have bestowed upon us. Thank you for your knowledge and time with one another in this city. May you extend your divine wisdom to our speaker so that he may be able to impart effectively. Bless the participants as well, that we may glean the vital information from this activity. Lord God, as we make better decisions for the development of the students, staffs, faculty, alumni, and friends of St. Joseph of University, and continue to remind us all that we do here today. All that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. For this grace we ask the Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Johnsirani, for blessing with us with the words of God. Now I give time to Sister Susie Emil of our second year PCA for the prayer song.
He is my everything. He is my all. He is my everything, both great and small. He gave his life for me, made everything new. He is my everything. Now how about you? Like honey in the rock, sweet honey in the rock. Forget is like honey in the rock. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Forget is like honey in the rock.
Thank you, Sister Susie Emil. Now I call upon our brother Nizo Detso of second year PCA to deliver the welcome address.
Very good afternoon to everyone. Firstly, I would like to apologize for that I could not turn on the camera due to some technical difficulties. Firstly, I would like to welcome our honorable guest speaker, Dr. M. Suresh Kumar, Associate Professor of Sri Ram Engineering College, Chennai, Department of Information Technology, for joining us on today as our guest on this lecture program. In spite of your busy schedule, you manage your time, so it is an honor for all of us to have you as our guest speaker today. We expect to learn so many things from a highly qualified professor like you. Respected Head of the Department of Computer Science, Dr. S. Pradeep Kumar Kini, your presence has enlightened our minds and has given us new ideas. All our teaching faculties and the students present here today, I'm highly honored to take this opportunity on behalf of the students of the Department of Computer Science, St. Joseph University, to welcome you all to this guest lecture program. Today we are here to learn about advanced networking concepts using CISCO Packet Tracer, something that we can create our own virtual network worlds for exploration, experimentation, and explanation of networking concepts, which our speaker will be sharing, and we'll learn more about it later. I expect everyone to be engaging, that we learn many things from this program, and hope it to be fruitful and beneficial for our future references. Once again, thank everyone for attending this lecture program. Thank you.
Thank you, Nizo, for giving us a brief idea about our program today. Now, next, I call upon our Head of Department, Dr. S. Pradeep Kumar Kini, to deliver a special address.
Respected Vice Chancellor Dr. D. Nyanadurai, respected Dean Dr. Arogya Mary, respected Professor and guest speaker of today's event Dr. M. Suresh Kumar, respected members of the management, learned faculty members, and my dear students, a very good afternoon to all. The Technique Club of our department is proud to present a one-day lecture on the topic Advanced Network Concepts using Cisco Packet Tracker. The Technique Club was institutionalized on 12/2/2019 to serve as a platform for holistic education in par with the vision of our university, and thereby to help improve students' interpersonal and other skills to make them industry ready. The club has so far lived up to its expectation, thanks mainly to the active participation of students and also by having most eminent academicians among us delivering thought-provoking lectures on the most advanced and trust areas of computer science, which sadly we cannot include in the curriculum as part of computer science, as is a very vast field. Today, we are very happy to welcome one such eminent academician, Professor Dr. M. Suresh Kumar from Sri Sai Ram Engineering College, Chennai, who amidst his busy schedule has wholeheartedly accepted to share his vast knowledge with our students today. He obtained his PhD from Anna University. He also holds a master's degree in computer science, engineering, and management. Over the years, he has published around 17 international journals, participated in 27 international conferences. He has also delivered various talks in various FTP programs, workshops, and seminars. He is also the proud owner of various proposed projects which he has obtained from various program funding agencies. We, the students and faculty of Computer Science Department of St. Joseph University, are proud to have you amongst our midst, and we wholeheartedly welcome you, sir. I also welcome the alumni students of our department who have joined here. A network is an interconnection of various devices and is the foundation and basis of the internet as we know today. The data transfer in it take place via use of network packets. A network packet, or simply called as IP packet, can be referred to as a unit of data of about 1 kbps or 1.5 kbps flowing from the origin to the destination, which we call sender to receiver in electronic. Within the internet or packet switch network, the packet tracer can be used to understand the working of various networking devices, their use, what makes them different, and their appropriate use in designing a network. Packet tracer is a user-friendly network with various options where user can customize and design a network. I hope this guest lecture will kindle the minds of the young students who are gathered here eagerly, and hope you all have a wonderful section ahead. I extend a big thank to the organizers of the program and the management of St. Joseph University for supporting us in conducting such programs for the benefit of the students. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I give time to our respected guest of the evening, Dr. M. Suresh Kumar, to educate us on the topic of advanced networking concept using CISCO packet tracer.
Thank you. Thanks for your wonderful introduction, sir. First of all, I would like to convey my thanks for giving an opportunity to deliver a wonderful webinar about the advanced networking concepts to the students of St. Joseph University BCA second year, and the management and organizers, everything. For all, I would like to convey my sincere thanks for inviting me for this webinar. I will directly go to the presentation. My slides visible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Can
It's visible, sir.
Yeah. So today's topic that we are going to see is the simulation of advanced network concepts using Cisco Packet Tracer. Hope everyone during this COVID period, even though we are suffering a lot during this COVID period, everyone is interconnected. All of you are, each and every one of you are interconnected through the network only. Because of the network only, we are able to concentrate on the regular day-to-day daily activities without any disturbances. So from this, we can easily know that how far the networking plays a very important role in the current scenario, in this current pandemic situations. If and only if you are very strong with the networking concepts, so regular IT industries are going on as such like the previous years. Similarly, industry, education industry, everything we are conducting through online classes, all are going through online only. So these things are possible only because of this networking. So for that, we should have some basic knowledge about what means networking, how the internal working going on, how the configuration can be done using for the networking devices. So what are all the some concepts behind that? If you say DHCP, DNS, NATing, like that, we are telling lot of concepts in networking. So we should know what are all the concepts and how the concept is working. We can, for that, we are using the packet tracer, Cisco packet tracer as its network simulation tool. So we all know that Cisco is a giant company. Whenever we are talking about Windows operating system, next what comes in the mind is Microsoft. So he is the owner of the Windows operating system. Similarly, whenever, wherever we are talking about an internet or network or networking devices like routers, switches, etc., the first name we come into the mind is the Cisco. He is one of the giant company, Cisco packet tracer. So that simulation, Cisco company provides one network simulation tool for understanding the internal working of all the networking concepts. So today's agenda, these are all the things, some things, because as sir told, your HOD sir told, networking is a vast major area. Computer science is a vast major area. In that, network is one of the domain. In that networking itself, it's a very vast information. It contains very vast information. We cannot merge all those things into a single 1 hour webinar or like that. So I will consolidate all those things and put the most important some topics, networking topics in this presentation that we are going to see. So these are all the topics that we are going to discuss. First one, we are going to see about the router. So everyone will see in your organization, if you go to the computer lab, means there will be switches. Mostly you can able to find the switch, switches, cables, systems for networking. In larger organizations, there will be a centralized router is there. So you should know what is the difference between switch and what the function performed by the switches and what is router, how it differs, and what are the commands. We can give simple commands we can discuss so that we can itself easily configure. And then introduction to packet tracer. And then we are going to see OSI model. Hope everyone will know about what is OSI. If you study some computer network subject, definitely you should know the OSI model, 7-layer OSI models. So 7-layer functions like that thing I am not going to discuss in detail. Just in which layer that routing will work. That for that only I am telling OSI model. So fourth agenda will be the advanced networking concepts, that is DHCP. Dynamic host configuration. We will see those things in detail in the subsequent presentation slides. NATing, NAT, that is network address translation. Sixth one, DNS, domain naming service. So these are three very important networking concepts. And finally, we will see some hands-on training on packet tracer. How this DHCP works, how this mail server works, like that. We'll see, if time permits, we will see one hands-on experiment using packet tracer. So this thing you people all know, various networking devices from the starting stage. It's a folder disk, it will be called hub, gateway, repeater, bridge. First, the 4 networking devices will not at all now in the usage, current usage. Everything is shifted to switches and routers. Because those things are nothing but just directly whatever the data is coming, that will deliver. So all these things have disadvantages. So nowadays we are seeing concentrating or using only the switch and routers. Okay. So you should know what is the difference between a switch and router, basic differences. So how the switch will be and how the router will be. What is the main objective? Only one main difference or major difference between the switch and router is switches used for interconnecting various devices in the network. Suppose if the network, if your computer lab, suppose if in your college, if the computer lab is consisting of 50 machines, how we are going to connect or interconnect or make the 50 machines into the network means by using switches. Switches is enough for connecting one machine to another machine, for connecting a lab. So what does router do? Router is similarly if another department, for example, MCA, if another department is running in the college means that department is having one more lab. Another one is having one more lab. So router is used for connecting different networks. Switches is used for connecting different devices. So that is the major difference. For network to network means we have to go for router. Device to device means we can go for switches. So in which layer it works? OSI model we can see 7 layers. In that physical layer, data link layer, network layer. So third layer is network layer. Router works on third layer. Switches works on second layer, data link layer. So routers is used in both the local area network and the metropolitan area network or wide area network. Switches only used in local area networks. Similarly, how the data, sir, your HOD sir told how the packets, how the frames, how the data is moved from source to destination or from sender to receiver. Okay, so that thing only. Router sends data in the form of packets. Switches sends the data in the term of frames. So these things will be some basic differences between router and switches. We will not concentrate this thing in detail. Directly we go for some basic commands. Sorry. Okay. So these are all the basic commands. We can do it in router. All know DOS operating system is there. One of the operating system is MS-DOS, Microsoft Disk Operating System, Windows operating system, Linux operating system, Unix operating system. So Unix operating system is CUI mode. What is that? CUI means character user interface. Windows is GUI mode, that is graphical user interfaces. So character user interface means giving the command character by character in the terminal or command prompt. If in DOS, if you want to copy some file means you can give copy, source file name, destination file name. Copy is the command used for copying one file to one place to another place. Similarly, router is also performed in CLI mode, that is command line interface mode. What is that? IOS. So if you see mobile, you are using, every one of you are using mobile. Mobile is having some operating system. Most commonly used is Android iOS, Android operating system. If you are having laptop or desktop in your home, you are having operating system. Surely operating system should be there. Maybe it may be a Windows operating system or Linux or Macintosh or Apple. This type of operating system will be Sun Solaris available. Similarly, the networking device router will also have the operating system, inter-networking operating system, Cisco IOS. It is called as Cisco IOS. So inter-network operating system. So each and every network device like routers have the built-in network operating system. Inter-networking IOS will be there. Okay, so this only performs all the operations. So what are all the operations performed by iOS software? Carrying the network protocols, connecting high-speed traffic, adding security, supplying network reliabilities. So how we are going to be able to connect the router? Suppose you have established one lab, you have connected all the systems to the switches. Another network will be there. So another network formulation is done, work is done. You want to connect one network to another network, you have purchased the router. So you have to configure the router to connect the two different networks. What are the different ways of connecting the router is console cable. You can use console cable, AUX cable, TTY, teletype terminal. That is called telnet. So console cable is used for connecting at the initial stage during the purchase. First time you are doing installation means you have to put the cable system to router cable you have to connect and then do the configurations. Similarly, auxiliary port will be there. If you see in TV or some modem like that, there will be a port called console port, AUX port, auxiliary cable, auxiliary ports. So audio, video, and red color, yellow color, and white color cable will be there. So that is called auxiliary ports. Similarly, we can able to connect through telnet. What is telnet? Telnet is nothing but way of connecting to the remote computer. If one machine is present outside your network or somewhere it is present, if we know the IP address of the particular machine, we can able to connect to the particular machine using telnet, telecommunication network. These are the three ways of different connecting to the routers. So this is the back part of the router device. In that back part, there will be some interfaces. If you are using laptop, means how you are going to connect using RJ45 cable. That cable is called as RJ45 connector. That is blue color, it will come. So that connector interface is called fast Ethernet LAN connections. These two are fast Ethernet. So in Ethernet itself, the various categories will be there. Fast Ethernet, Gigabit Ethernet. Fast Ethernet is 10 bar 100. It will support the speed up to 10 bar 100 Mbps. Gigabit Ethernet interface, G. Fast Ethernet, Gigabit Ethernet means it will allow for transmission of speed up to 1000 Mbps. That is 1 Gbps. 10 bar 100 bar 1000. So based on the cable also, or interface also, we can able to identify or feel the difference of speed between the data transfers. So this power button, power card, and then serial interface, WAN interfaces. These two are called LAN interfaces. Ethernet interface is called LAN interface. If you want to connect for outside the network, we have to go for WAN interface. WAN is wide area network and serial type of interfaces. So this is the inside part of that router. Similar to CPU, if you open and see, there will be an hard disk, there will be a motherboard, there will be a processor, there will be a memory card, like that. It will be the internal part of component of a router device. It is having power supply and different types of memory will be there. In CPU, RAM and ROM will be there. 15 GB RAM. If you see in Android mobile phone, first what we will ask, what is the configuration? What processor? What will be the speed? If you are talking about the laptop configuration, first thing what you will ask, what is the processor you are using? Whether it's an Intel Core i7 or i5 or AMD processor, Ryzen processor, like that. And then similarly memory, 8 GB or 10 GB, 16 GB or 4 GB, like that. Similarly, routers is also having some memory parts. So these are all the 4 memory types present in the router: RAM, ROM. These things these are normal random access memory and read-only memory. Instead of that, it will also having NVRAM, non-volatile RAM. All the startup configuration details will be stored in NVRAM, and also flash memory. That is called IOS. So what happens when you switch on the PC or laptop? PC, if you are having some desktop in your system, if you switch on the desktop, what will happen? First operation will be the post operation. That is called power on self-test. If you switch on the power, it will start self-testing. During the initially when some wordings will be going on or flashing in the desktop screen. What means it will check whether the RAM is installed properly or not, memory. If the RAM is not properly inserted, it will give some beep sound in the desktop if it is not properly inserted. Similarly, the router also, when you switch on the router, it will give some sound and start performing the post operations. What it will check means load the iOS image from flash memory to RAM. So it will load the operating system, Cisco iOS operating system. It will bring that operating system from flash memory to RAM and displays all the information from the post, that is power on system test, this thing okay, adapter okay, monitor okay, memory okay, hard disk okay, like that. It will also give all the details about the testing, and then it will start the startup configuration file. So this is the command line interface. When if you go and see, we go and see the hands-on training on the packet tracer simulator, or we can directly using Cisco router hardware also, we can do this type of commands. We can do this commands. So what the command line interface is, we have to give all the commands in the command prompt. We have to type the command. But in Windows, what you will normally do is, it's a GUI, graphical user interface. If you want to open some file, means you can go for file and click open, and then you have to select the file, and that file will be automatically open. But it is not in the case of command line interface. We have to give the command. Whatever operation we have to do, we have to give it as a command. If you are familiar with Unix operating system, if you have worked with Unix operating system, if you run the shell programs, sh odd.sh, it will open, or if you give vi shell odd.sh, it will open some editor, va editor. We have to type the file, and then we have to compile the file using cc file name, and then /a.out for running. So all those things we are performing in a command line mode. Similarly, routers are also will operate only in the command line mode. We should know all the commands for configuring the routers. If you want to set the IP address, you have to know what is the command for setting the IP address. If you want to clear, what is the command for clearing? Or if you want to set some interfaces, means what is the command? So everything is command based. So it will similarly, if you have put some wrong commands or syntax is not correct, means it will also automatically tell this is the line error is coming. So you have to check that particular command, whether it is correct or not. Also, we can have question mark, that is help manual about that particular commands. If we don't know what are the parameters for that particular command, if you want to copy the file from one place to another place, you need source and destination. You are knowing only the command is copy, but you are not sure that how many parameters should be there. Means you can put copy space question mark. It will tell copy source required, destination required, like that. So in Cisco router also, we can have the help command. That is by using question mark symbol. So after logging into the router, you have switched on the router, perform the post operations. It will go to the command prompt. Command prompt, how it will be means, it will directly see if a router greater than symbol. So this is the stopping point when the router switched on. So that means that it is in the user mode. That is normal mode. We cannot do any operations in this mode. We have to make that mode to privileged mode. Privileged mode means next higher level mode, used for doing, if you want to configure something. Why this type of different modes means, in order to secure the configurations. If you don't have authorization If you don't have valid username and password, we cannot go from the user mode to privileged mode. User mode, we can only view all the details. Privileged mode, we can modify the details. So user mode means greater than symbol will be there. If you give enable EN in Cisco router, similar to Unix operating, it is more or less like the Unix operating system commands. How means we can give short form of command also. Instead of giving enable fully typing, we can just give EN and press enter. It will go from the mode user mode to privileged mode. Disable means again it will move from privileged mode to user modes. We can also set some authentication also. For example, see this one. So router hash means it is in the privileged mode. If you give config terminal, config T, it is the command. I want to do some configuration in the router. We have to move from privileged mode to configuration mode. So router config hash. In that I can set the interfaces. So what that interface means, if you see the switches, in that 8-port switch will be there, 16-port switch will be there, 24-port switch will be there. Each and every one will be called as an interface. So port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. So interface ports, these are all called. Suppose if any of you in your house having some broadband connection, internet, Wi-Fi connection means in that router will be provided. In olden days, modem is provided. Modem is nothing but modulator and demodulator. That is called modem. So we can convert from analog to digital and digital to analog signal. It performs modulation and demodulation techniques. So through telephone wire, through telephone cable, we have to connect to the modem. So telephone will be analog. So digital, again digital to analog internet. Nowadays, we are not at all using any modem or like that. Simply, we are using some simple type of routers. It may be also called routers. Not as much used in the industry type of routers. In home household purpose also, we are using routers. If you see the back side of the router, there will be an interface. LAN interface, WAN interface, like that, there will be an interface. So we can see all those things in that simple router also. Ourselves, if any problem occurs in the particular router household, if internet is not coming suddenly, we can also check whether the IP is properly configured or not. We can open that particular router in the browser. That IP address will be present in that router itself. With the sticker, the label will be there. We can put that IP address, username, password. We can check whether the internet status is on or not. It is active or not. Simple loose connection will be there. So simple these type of troubleshooting techniques ourselves we can do. No need to expect the third party or third person to come and check. So if any of the OS is corrupted, if anything is not, if you want to install some softwares, these things we cannot expect the service people or technicians to do these things. Ourselves, by practice, it will be very easy. So I already told what are the various interfaces, no? Fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet. So difference between fast and gigabit is the speed, 10 bar 100, it will be a 10 bar 100 bar 1000. WAN is serial port interfaces. So this is a simple command for doing interfaces. Conf T means configuration mode. It will go to hash, router hash to router config hash. And then interface G0/0. 0/0 means 0/0 interface. Gigabit interface. G represents gigabit interfaces. LO means loop interface. S means serial interfaces. So this is one of the important command to bring the network interface up and down. So administrative shutdown mode. No shutdown means it will become up. So console, port, auxiliary port, telnet, connecting the router. How we are going to connect through console port or through auxiliary port or through telnet. If you want to see what is the router name, we can give host name command. If you want to see the banner or message of the day, we can give. If you want to encrypt, you can encrypt using service password encryption command, etc. So these are some important basic commands that we have discussed in Cisco IOS router commands. So you can ask whether I can able to configure only the router or can I able to configure the switches. So I already told you in the lab there will be one rack, network rack will be there. Inside the rack, surely switches will be there. If the lab is in the network and it is interconnected, there will be a network rack. In the network rack, there will be switches, depends upon the number of computers. If the lab is having 60 computers, means surely there will be a 3 24-port switches. Okay. So I can able to configure whether the switch also or not. We can ask. What the answer is, if it is a managed switch, there will be a word called managed and unmanaged. Routers are all managed, we can able to configure. If the switch is a managed switch, switch cost will be 13,000 or 12,000 means it will be a non-managed switch. If it is 40,000, 50,000 means it is a managed switch. If we or semi-managed also will be there. If it is a semi-managed or managed switch, whatever the commands we are using in the router, we can applicable to switches also. If it is a not managed switch, we cannot able to configure those things. So configuration means we can set IP, we can check the data, everything. So just introduction about the packet tracer. Packet tracer is a cross-platform. Packet tracer is a cross-platform tool designed by Cisco that allows the users to create network topologies. You all know network topologies: local area network, LAN topology, WAN topology, LAN network, star, ring, bus, mesh. All these are topologies. Bus topology, ring topology, star topology, mesh topology. So we can simulate all those topologies, all those network connections, how the data move from source to destination, these things using simulator. The packet tracer use. So this is the main screen of the packet tracer, simple screenshot. In that there will be in the top, in the bottom of that screen, there will be called end devices. See, routers, switches, end devices means laptop, system, this thing, printers, etc. So we are able to, you will see these things in detail in the Cisco packet tracer hands-on. So this is the scenario I am giving. So this is one network. Top is called router. Another medium is called switches. These two are systems, end terminals, end devices. So we are connecting two end devices to the switch and to the router. This is one network, first network. This network is having the IP address 192.168.0.0. So we are assuming that this is the type of one network having two devices, one router, one switch. Similarly, so you all know this IP address. Whenever we are talking about IP address, we should know Internet protocol. That IP is called as Internet protocol address. So we are having class A, class B, class C, class D, class E. Class D and E are for reserved use. We are using only these three types of address. In this also, some IP address will be considered as a reserved. So 0 to 127, that is 128 to 199. Class C is 192 to 223. Suppose if you see in your lab, if you go and see the network settings means, you can able to identify what will be the IP address of that particular machine. IP address will be there and subnet mask it will be there. If it is a class A means subnet mask is 80. That means that 255.0.0.0 subnet mask. If it is a class B means 16. So 255.255.0.0. So IPv4 is a 32-bit address. 4 octets. 8888. 4 octets. That is 192.168.0.10. So 192 is one octet. Another one is 168 is second one. 0 is third one. And 3 is fourth one. So if it is a class C, the default subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. So based on the class, which class IP address, we can able to identify the subnet mask of that particular network. So if you want to configure the IP address for that particular machine, you have to double click that particular end devices. This is one of the end devices, 192.168.0.2 PCPT, again PCPT. So if you double click that device, it will open the configuration page like that. In that IP configuration will be there. If you click that IP configuration, it will ask whether we are going to set the IP as static or dynamic. The DHCP is one of the advanced networking concept. So what is the difference between the static IP and DHCP IP is, static IP, we have to set the IP address manually. We have to set the IP address manually. We have to type, this is 172.16.0.10. Like that, we have to give the IP address and subnet mask. Subnet mask, I already told, if it is a class A means 255.000. If it is a DHCP, if you select DHCP means, we no need to give IP address, we no need to give subnet mask, we no need to give debug. Everything will be automatically fetched from the server. If you make one server system as a DHCP server and configure the DHCP server alone, if you connect any number of devices to the particular server, it will release the IP address to the clients automatically. No need to give static manner. That thing you will see in DHCP. So this is the IP address. I am setting it statically. This is for another machine. I have completed this thing. So again, second network. Same thing, same operation we have to do. So 192.168.1.0 is the second type of network. Third network, 3.0. So I am giving it as third network. So I am simulating or creating a scenario topology having 3 different networks with different IP addresses. So how we are going to connect? This is the final scenario that I am going to simulate in the packet tracer. So the scenario or topology will be like this. I already told this is one network. Intermediate is another network. Third one is another network. 3 networks. You have to interconnect all those networks using routers. 3 routers I am using. So I have to connect first network and second network and third network. Again 1 2 2 1 1 1 2 2 3 3 1. So I have to connect all these 3 networks and I have to finally check whether I am able to communicate. What is the purpose of networking? What is the purpose? We are connecting one system to another system in order to share the data. If you want to share the data or share the resources or share the files, anything, it has to be interconnected. For that only we are going for network. So what are the protocols? Protocol is nothing but the rules and the regulations to be followed while transferring the data from source to destination. So protocol, this is the protocol to be followed during Republic Day function. This is the protocol to be followed. So whatever the protocol today we have followed during the inaugural of this webinar, there will be a systematic procedure starting from prayer, introduction song, introduction of guest, like that. So this is the protocol. This is the procedure you are following for arranging the webinar. For Republic Day function or Independence Day function, what are the protocols to be followed? Similarly, what is the protocol to be followed while transferring the data from source to destination or from sender to receiver? We are routing the data. Instead of telling transferring the data, I am routing the data from source to destination. So what protocol we are using? So one slide presentation about OSI model, we will see. These are all the models, 7 models. Physical layer is the bottommost layers. Data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, application layer. Similarly, bits, frames, bits will be zeros and 1. It will be converted into frames. Frames will be converted to packets. Packets will be converted into segments. Each and every layer, the given data will be transferred according to the layer categories. So this is a protocol. Each and every layer is having protocol. For example, if we see, we are concentrating only upon the networking layer. Data link layer is switches. Networking layer is routers. So switches is physical address, network is logical address. So routing algorithm, every router will maintain the routing table. The routing table contains what is the source, what is the destination, etc. So hop is nothing but transferring the data from one network to another network. So if you are transferring the data from one network to another network, how much hop it will jump for reaching the destination. So in the diagram it clearly sees R1, 1 hop. Again, second machine to another machine, R2, 1 hop. From first machine to R2's last machine, it will go for 2 hops. Hop is nothing but from how much jump it will make for reaching the destination. So routing algorithm will be 2 categories, static routing and dynamic routing. Similarly, distance vector routing and link state routing. So we can also route the source and destination statically. It's similar to setting the IP address static and DHCP dynamic. We can also route the data. We can directly tell the router, this packet, if it comes, move this packet to this particular destination. Okay, we can directly tell static. Dynamic means whatever at that time itself it will decide. Dynamically it will decide where to reach that particular destination. So that only static routing and dynamic routing. So in that routing, 2 different protocols will be there. Most commonly used protocol, that is our RIP and OSPF protocol, routing information protocol versus open shortest path first protocol. We can see or study the Digijustus algorithm, that is shortest path algorithm. Okay, that is the algorithm used to find the shortest path between the source and the destination. Similarly, RIP protocol uses Bellman-Ford algorithms. We are concentrating that also the RIP is used for only the smaller type of networks. If the institution or office contains 5 different branch offices, if the head office is in the US, the branch offices are located across only 5 countries, then we can go for RIP protocol for connecting the networks. If it is more than 15 op count. Op count I already told. What is that op count? Means one network to another count jump. If we are having more than 15 networks, then we can go for open shortest path routing protocol. Routing category we can use. So commands will differ. How far you are configuring the router, whether using RIP protocol or OSPF protocol. Where to use RIP and where to use OSPF protocol. For example, this will be the command for configuring the RIP protocol. So you are in configuration mode, router RIP, network 10.0.0, network, another network. This we are using 3 networks. So we are transferring the data from between 3 different networks. We are directly telling the IP address of that particular networks. This one is OSPF protocol configurations. You all know the ping command. What is the use of ping command? If you want to check whether your computer is able to communicate with another computer in the lab, then we can use the ping command with the IP address of the destination machine. If we give the ping another IP address of the destination machine, it has to give reply like that. Reply from. If it is request timed out error come means, we can able to tell that that machine is not under the network connectivity. That is standalone. We can able to check whether all the systems are network means you can use the ping command. So what I told is DHCP, where we have to use the DHCP protocol. So dynamic host configuration protocol. This is used for setting the IP address. If your institution is very large, having more number of 1,000 end devices will be there, or each and every person is having the own laptop and bring BYOD, bring your own device concept to the college. Means college administrator will not provide each and every one of you, this is the IP address you have to use, this is the IP address you have to use. Like that, it will not be used. If it is a lab and a desktop means we can be able to configure. Suppose if the end device is the laptop or tab, like that means we cannot configure or we cannot be able to give the each and every one the IP address, because if the same IP address what I am giving will be given to others, there will be a, just a minute. So there will be a IP conflict problem. So one IP, if anyone is using, that IP should not be given to others. So we cannot be able to remember which IP is given to which student. So those problems will arise in the larger network scenario. So for that, if you configure one simple DHCP server and make the server to release the IP address, make the system to release the IP address to the clients who are all connecting. Just we can insert the cable, LAN cable, it will automatically give the IP address. No need to give individually. That is called DHCP protocol, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. What is the purpose? Means it automatically provides an IP address. All details with subnet mask, default gateway, all the details. No need to do it manually. That is the main advantage of DHCP protocol. You should know what is the limitations between static and dynamic IP. Dynamic IP is called DHCP. Static IP is what we are setting it manually. So how the DHCP works? So this is the server. We all know server and client-server relationship. Client will give the request, server will give the response. Okay, wow. So client will just connect the cable to his laptop. What happens? The client discovery, it will discover what IP address I have to get. It will discover from the server. Server will release one IP address, that is called offer. Okay, so discovery, offer, this is called DORA concept. DHCP concept is called as DORA concept. So discovery, offer, request, acknowledge. So client will tell, yeah, I have received the IP address. Thank you. Server. Okay, good. Proceed. That is called acknowledgement. So all these things happens in a fraction of seconds. Whenever the client connects the network cable to his laptop, it will give the request to the server. Hi, I am in need of one IP. Server will release the IP. That is offer. Again, you have to give. I am ready to give request, and then acknowledge. So DORA, discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. So what things that the DHCP server will give, Abdina, that is scope. We can previously assign to the server, this much number of IP address you have to release. Starting range, ending range. And then lease period. If any of you have assigned an IP address and not used for a longer period we can set. Whether the client is not used that IP address for 30 minutes or 1 day or 5 hours, that IP address will be automatically cancelled to that particular user and released to the next available customers, clients. So lease. So this thing will be easy the manual assigning of IP address. Manual assigning will create lot of problems. IP conflict error will be there. Okay. So reservation, we can reserve this IP address, and then also we can exclude some IP addresses for particular devices. So disadvantage means there will be also some disadvantages in DHCP servers. It's a single point of failure. If the DHCP server fails, then server itself failed means we cannot able to release the IP address to the clients who are connecting. If the server is down, it will not give response. So single point of failure problem, there will be a lot of chances. Okay. So that is about the DHCP server. Next concept will be very interesting concept. It's a network address translation. So DHCP is for assigning the IP address dynamically, not manually. So how it assigns, how we can do that thing we discussed. Network address translation, hope you all know the different types of IP address. That is public IP, private IP. Two different IP address will be there. Public IP, private IP. Suppose if you are using internet and in that if you go open the browser and give the address, type the address www.whatismyip.com. www.whatismyip.com. Able to see my window?
No, sir. Because you are presenting this PPT, not the entire.
Okay. So if you open the browser and you give what is my IP, it will give some IP address. It will tell 61.12.45.66. What is that IP address? Is nothing but public IP. Even though if your machine or laptop or the computer is configured with some IP address, that is called private IP address. That is, that IP address will be known only to the local network. In your college, in your lab, only that IP address will be known. If you want to communicate with the outside world, that is outside world means internet. If you want to communicate with the outside people, you should have to map the private address with the public IP address. Similarly, if any one of the outside world want to communicate with your network, with your lab, similarly, they have to use that public IP address. So private to public, public to private. So address translation has to be done. That thing will be performed in the router. Okay. So NAT is nothing but network address translation. It maps the private IPs to public IP. So private typing, that is inside, outside. If you want to transfer the data from inside to outside, we have to map this private IP to the public IP. Public IP will be given by the internet service provider. Suppose if your institution is providing, Geo is providing the internet provider means, we will assign some IP address, that is public IP addresses for your institution. So you have to map this private IP address, the Geo's public IP address, so that with the help of public IP only, you can be able to communicate with the outside world. Okay, so internet service providers will provide the public IP address. So it is required in case of shortage of IPv4 address, because public IP will be given only one IP address. But in your lab or in your college, many number of local IP address will be there. That is private IP addresses. So for all, we have to map all those local IP addresses with a single public IP. In the diagram, if you see this diagram, it will be clearly understand. So this is internet, this is private network. So internet first off is private network, that is your lab, your college, your network, your company. You want to access that particular machine in the outside network, you have to, that is internet. You have to map these private IP addresses, all those IP addresses with public IP address. So 10.0.1.2, 10.0.5 map this address with 128.143.0. This is public IP, this one is private. Similarly, from outside to inside, we have to map the public again to private. So these are the four different terminologies or names used in NATing while performing NATing. Inside local, outside. Inside local, outside global. So inside local, outside local. Similarly, the global side, internet side, inside global, outside global. The NATing itself is having many different categories. Static NATing, similarly, similar to DSCP, static and dynamic. In NATing also we can perform statically, that is manually. Dynamically, automatically it can perform, or overloading, or port address translation. That is called PAT, port address translation. So we can able to communicate with the help of IP address also through port numbers. For example, if you are using HTTP protocol, HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, that is using port number 80. FTP protocol, File Transfer Protocol, that is using port number 21. So while communicating from one network to another network, we can able to control the port usage also. If you want to, if you are not allowing the third party to transfer the file to our network, we can disable the port FTP protocol port number. If you are not able to browse, means HTTP protocol 80. If you disable that, we cannot able to browse. So we can do all those things with the help of port addresses also. So next, last one is domain naming services. You all know domain name. What is the domain? In each and every lab, there will be a server called domain server, antivirus server, firewall server. Like that, a lot of database servers. So lot of server will be there. If you are able to log in with the username, individual username and password, if you are providing rights credentials, user credentials, means the lab means, you have to give username and password. For that, you have to configure the Active Directory configuration. Active Directory servers will be there. What the DNS performs, what is the role played by DNS means? Domain naming to IP address. So, having one computer in the lab means that will have name, also IP address. System 1 or CA lab system 1, that is the name of the machine. and we can also have the IP address for the particular machine. So in two ways, we have to invoke, or we can call, or we can communicate that particular machine with the help of IP address or with the help of the name. Similarly, if you are having a university exam, end semester exam, you should have name and you should have unique register number. Register number is very difficult to remember. That is similarly, IP address is very difficult to remember. www.google.com is very easy. I am able to open the www.google.com with the help of the IP address also. So google.com is the naming convention. IP address will be there 132.145.171.21. It is the IP address of Google server. So I can give in the address bar both name and IP address. Which one is easier means you can directly tell www.google.com is very easier. We cannot able to remember all the IP address of all the domains. This is www.stjosephuniversity.in. What is the name of your website means you can directly give college website means you can tell the name of the website. The name of the website itself can be opened. Website itself can be opened with the IP also. We can give IP also, but it is not very easy to remember all those things. What operation the DNS server only map or convert the domain name to IP address as well as vice versa, IP address to domain names. So see, domain name system is a collection of database that contains information about the domain names and the corresponding IP addresses. In both ways it can be possible, but majority of us will use only the naming to IP address. So this DNS server only will perform this operation for converting the IP address to domain names and domain names to IP address. That thing will be, how it is possible means by using records, 4-year records, MX DNS resolver, MX mail exchange server, all those things, internal working detail will be there. So domain naming services are but a way of converting the domain name to IP address and or IP address to domain. So see this one, greymousecloud.com, we can give. DNS server will convert that domain name into the IP address and give it to the client 202.174.104.61. Both ways possible. If the client gives the IP address to the DNS server, the DNS server will map that IP address to the corresponding domain name. So HTTP request and HTTP response. So server will give always response, client will always give the request. So that's all about the topics we have discussed today. I will stop the sharing.
Sir, thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
A very nice section. Students, you can ask your doubts to sir now. Second year and third year students, you can ask sir any doubts if you have.
So if you really, what I want to tell to the students means you should have some practical exposure to do all those things. Nothing will happen. One and only if you physically damage the networking devices, the problem will happen. For configuration point of view, you can play like installing the operating system. Whatever the problem occurs, if you just format that operating system, it will go to the normal mode. Like that only we have to test all those commands like that in the devices. Practical exposure you can gain. If you have any doubts regarding that, what I also want to mention to you always, you do just getting degree is not enough. Since you are in technic club, one part of technic club you are conducting this activity, you have to do more certification courses. In addition to that, what are learned in that college period, what is the academic, you have to do parallelly some certification courses, whether it may be a networking or a lot of certification providers will be the Cisco certification, CCNA is the basic. Cisco Certified Networking Associates, CCNA Security, CCNA Cyber Security Essentials. Lot of Cisco still providing lot of security network type certifications. If you are interested in administration, means Microsoft Windows Server administration, like that also you can do. In addition to that, current academics degree is not only enough for getting the job offers. You have to improve your skill set. Nowadays, skill set plays a major role. Earning the degree and getting the degree is only the entry for attending the company's interview. Whatever you are learning apart from that current academics, what certificate you are having, that will only fetch you a better job opportunity in the current scenario market world. That thing only I want to mention. So it may be very simple. You have to identify you are different from others. How? By doing some this type of courses or classes like that. That thing only I want to mention. If you have any doubts regarding that, you can ask. Regarding networking, I will.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yes.
Sir, how can we get rid of IP address manually?
Manually.
Yes, sir.
So in that, I will open. I will tell. My screen is visible?
No, sir. Yeah, it's not.
Yes, sir.
Now? So if you taskbar in the laptop or desktop, you go for taskbar, one network symbol will be there. See, network. You click that one. Change adapter options. Internet. I'm connecting the laptop with the network only, IPv4. See, this is my IP address. Use the following IP address. 172.16.4.243. 258 subnet mask. This is the gate. So this is the IP address. We in our college, we are using static type of setting the IP address. Static IP only, not we are using DHCP. So I have to set this IP address if you want to make it into the network. Otherwise, if you go to command prompt, just give IP config. Command is called IP config. IP config, it will tell the IP address of that particular machine. So that is way of static IP. If you use using DHCP means it will automatically fetch or release the IP address.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe too fast I went. Due to time constraint, I have went too fast.
It's not at all fast.
Any,
It was correct.
any other doubts, students?
Students, you can open your mouth and ask.
Yeah, instead of studying only books and things, question will not, by doing some practical experience, only you can able to gain knowledge. Regarding networking, other thing, programming by practice you can give. Programming C, C++, Java, Python like that. Regarding networking, you should have real field experience in that.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Like for DSCP,
Yeah.
Do they have limits? Like how
No.
many limits?
No. We can have n number. That is that I forgot to mention the subnet mask. Whatever you are telling, you have heard about IPv4 and IPv6. In India, we are using only IPv4 addresses. That is IP version 4. In US, they have started using the IPv6 addresses. So what is the difference? Means V4 is 32-bit. So there will be a limitation in shortage of IP addresses. IPv6 is 128-bit. So whatever we are getting nowadays in our country, if you take by yourself, you are having n number of devices in your house. Each one of you are having mobile. If your family is having 4 members, means 4 members will have mobile. 4 members will have 3 members will at least have laptops and TV, smart TV. So for your house only 10 IP address it has to be released. Similarly, if you take the entire country, means the IP address shortage will be there in soon. So that only IPv6 address arises. So similarly in DHCP for IPv4, no limitation that in the subnet mask, that is 255.0.0.0, 192.168, we can subnet the n number of systems. There will be no limitation in assigning the IP addresses from server to client using DHCP.
So there's one question in the chat window by Runcio. What is the purpose of the data link layer in TCP/IP or OSI layer?
Data link layer, I already mentioned, it will do the error checking, error correction and detection techniques. Whatever the bits from physical layer, it's a physical topology or medium or which medium you are going to use to transfer the data. That is whether you are using the normal copper cable, straight through cable or fiber optic cable, or which topology you are going to use, that is physical layer. From physical layer to, you have to put the data to data link layer. That thing we have to perform error checking, error correction, bit stuffing, like that, all those details will be performed in the data link layer. From the data link layer only, data will move to the network layer.
Okay, anybody has any other questions? Third years, you're having your network paper, anyone's having? Okay then. Sir, thank you so much. It was a very entertaining section.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir said, all of you, your certification is very important. Computer is a very vast field, as sir said, and networking itself is one branch, and it's again a big vast field. So whenever you go for industry or anything, you need certificates. Okay. So I think today morning your class in charges might have sent you one link to enroll for that ICT Academy. So those are some certificates which you can have, and later, of course, you can use it, or it will be useful for you when you go to the industry. So one more question one student has posed: how will you use a linked list to simulate the IP packets?
Linked list. Actually, now we are talking about simulation tool for transferring the data packets. Linked list is nothing but a C++ program. We can, it's a coding type of transferring. Nowadays, we are not at all using coding for simulating the transfer, because simulation tool is freely available now. So if time permits, I will open the Cisco Packet Tracer. If possible, you can also download that tool, Cisco Packet Tracer. It's a free utility tool only. You download and get practice by yourself. It is very easy to understand how the data flows from one node to another node, whether any drop in that network. If you have not configured the IP address properly, means there will be a drop, interruptible will be there. So we can also simulate the current IoT technologies also. For example, if it's a traffic light signal, means how it works. There will be a sensors, there will be a bell, switching capacity, electric bulbs. So IoT, smart city, we can design smart city also using packet tracers. So we can have n number of features in Cisco Packet Tracer. Only thing is you have to do it. You should have time to experiment all those things. Then only you can feel how easier or how much helpful for simulating the data packets. Instead of using linked list or the coding, we can, for example, towers of an I program you can see. For that, you can use C program or pointers like that. It will move from these things. So that thing we can do it in the Cisco Packet Tracer itself. It's a tool, free tool only. You can download that Packet Tracer. You can feel the experience. Okay.
So one student has asked, what are the benefits of Packet Tracer?
Yeah.
And what is loopback IP address in Class A, and can you explain why it's used? This is asked by one of our staff, sir.
So local host address, loopback address, we can check whether all is the current working condition or not. So 127.0.0.1 we can give this local host address. Instead of giving browsing the internet, we can give it as IP address also. So memories we can use, I already told, flash memory, RAM, ROM, NVRAM, non-volatile memories, etc. These are the 4 types of memories we can use in the Cisco routers. So TCP connection is a handshaking mechanism. Handshaking, 3-way establishment. Okay. So TCP connection can be established in 3-way handshaking methods. That socket programming, you can see socket, bind, listen, accept, etc. So that thing only I will tell. DNS is not done. We have discussed only what the DNS performs. In detail, it can be discussed using that MX records, 4A records, tuples we can see, mail exchangers. So DNS resolvers should be there. So those things we have to create. That thing will be done by the website providers. If you purchase some website from GoMyDaddy, they will create all those things and they will give the website only. Okay. Firewall, that is, I already told, firewall is nothing but controlling the incoming traffic and the outgoing traffic. Whatever the data we can move from our network to other network, we can filter. We can directly tell these are all the data to be transmitted to the outside network. So firewall would use that thing only we can give the firewall. So I will just open that packet tracer. One student is asking about how can we use packet tracer. I open the packet tracer. So this is the packet tracer. Sir, able to see my window?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is by Cisco Packet Tracer. If you search in Google Cisco Packet Tracer, the latest version is 8.01. This is the simulation tool. In the bottom, you can see that is this one is network devices. I am putting one router. This is called IS4 router. In router itself, various configuration will be there. 4331 router, 4920 router, like that. This is called the end devices. I am connecting 2 PCs. I have to connect cables. This is the cable. So instead cables also having different types of categories. Straight through cable, crossover cable, copper cable, fiber cable, serial cable, etc. If you move the mouse over that particular icon, it will tell what type of cable. This is fiber cable. See, this one fiber. Copper straight to cable. So I am connecting that cable using the Ethernet interface called Fast Ethernet 00 to the router. To the port gigabit Ethernet 00. Similarly, I can use another cable for connecting to another router. So we can see. Similarly, switches will be there. This is called the switches. So switch symbol will be there, router symbol will be there, devices, laptop symbol will be like this. Server we can have. So this one is called server. We can configure the DHCP server also here, services, DHCP. We can service on. We can put the starting IP and ending IP here, start IP address, so that we can release automatically. So this is the Cisco Packet Tracer simulation tool. We can do all those operations. This is a packet transfer simulation. If you see this simulation, I want to move the packet from this one to this one. So I have not configured, so that only it is telling error. PCI has no functional ports.
Yes, sir. Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Sir, does the packet tracer require any amount of RAM to run the program?
Any amount of?
RAM.
Yeah,
RAM?
yeah. Packet is not available in app format. Also, we have to use it in the desktop or minimal configuration. It should have 4 GB RAM. That's enough. But it will be very slow in 4 GB. If you have 8 GB means it's good and enough to run all the simulation tools.
Okay, sir.
Packet tracer needs good memory and good processor also. Minimum core i3 should be there. So that only if we can able to feel the working experience in a clear manner.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
NAT occurs after before routing. It acts as an intermediate while transferring the data. We have to map the public IP and the private IP. So if you want to transfer that particular data, you have to map that private IP with the public IP address from inside local. Similarly, from outside global also they have to do vice versa.
Okay then. Once again, thank you, sir, for sharing with us your knowledge on the topic advanced networking concept using CISCO packet tracer.
It's called Cisco.
Now I request.
It's called Cisco, not CISCO. It's called
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Now I request Brother Mitsiviko of third year PCA to propose the vote of thanks.
A warm and graceful evening to all. Respected Head of Department, Dr. S. Pradeep Kumar Kenny, Father Anish, the staff of BCA, and all the students present here. I thank our honorable guest, Dr. M. Suresh Kumar, Associate Professor from Sri Sai Ram Engineering College, Department of Information Technology, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, for inspiring us on this one-day guest lecture. I, on behalf of BCA department, extend my gratitude to Dr. M. Suresh Kumar for investing your time to share us with your knowledge and expertise on advanced networking concept on Cisco Packet Tracer. As you have taught, Packet Tracer is a cross-platform visual simulation tool designed by Cisco system that allows users to create network topologies and imitate modern computer networks. The software allows users to simulate the configuration of Cisco routers and switches using a simulated command line interface to add and remove simulated network devices as they see fit. Cisco Packet Tracer is a comprehensive networking technology, teaching and learning tool that offers a unique combination of realistic simulation and visualization experiences. We are all inspired by your great words. I believe that what you taught us today will be of great aid in our journey ahead. It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks to acknowledge the contribution of those who made this one-day guest lecture possible. I thank the Almighty God for making all this possible. Thank you for being us with this evening. It was a great pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Mixivico. And thank you all for joining today's program. May you all have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Can I?
Thank you, sir.
Can I leave the meeting, sir, now?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Deepak sir, thank you, sir. HOD sir, thank you. It's a wonderful web seminar. Actually, it's very useful to us. The third